Gordon, what is best in geek life?
To crash the deckies, to have them driven before you, and listen to the lamentations of Alex Kurtzman.
That's not easy at all.
Then just happy birthday, Arnold.
Get off our lawn.
From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissel.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield with Keith.
And Gerry.
And we're here to talk about some nerd stuff. So what do you got on the line, Keith?
Today we're going to be talking about the CW DC crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, nice.
It's a major deal for both the CW and DC. You're going to have several people that have already signed up to be a part of it, including one former actor from a very famous 60s series that has just signed to make an appearance.
I suspect I know who it is. Plus, we're going to be having a new episode of Nerds Day with Susan, where she's going to talk about Dad's Bods. So you know that's going to be fun.
And Dee Dee Crowley will have a brand new Game Girl report.
Yes, on Resident Evil 6, which I love because it's the only game that ever scared the shit out of me while I was playing it in the middle of the night and I threw a game controller across the room.
Yeah.
It was like the Force just drew it out of my hand.
Well, later in the show, we're going to be talking about the changing landscape of media. The Orville will no longer be available on broadcast television. It is being moved to Hulu.
It's just crazy talk, I tell you. You're talking crazy.
I know.
So now we're going to move on to talking about a little bit of interesting stuff that deals with the DCU.
Yeah, well, the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths. That is their big to-do on the CW network.
Or as we call it, the Berlanti Network.
This year, the added fact that Arrow will be ending and will be feeding into this whole big event that they're leading to. Now, all of the Berlanti CW shows will be feeding into this except Black Lightning. Okay?
Which is so odd. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
It is like, why is that one chosen not to take part?
I have no idea.
I had no idea Greg Berlanti was a racist.
I don't know about a racist, but not all of his worlds connect. And at this point, both Supergirl and Black Lightning occur on different Earths. And so it's not easy to get everything together. Now, the hope is that this entire event will allow them to bring everything together.
Okay.
On one Earth, so that it makes it easier to do a lot more of these crossovers, unless you're a member of the...
Yeah, because as CW made it clear, Supergirl was actually in an alternate universe from The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And to do special stuff to meet up. And now everything's going to be shifted.
Yeah. So now that it's looking like everything will be part of one universe, we're actually going to have to go through this entire story. Now, many fans who have actually read the Crisis books are trying to figure out then who's going to be the major character that'll die. Now, there are those, like myself, that actually believe that Oliver will be the one that will die.
Well, it's the logical one, and I mean, the series is over.
Yeah.
So.
But it's already been said by him and others that just because the Arrow series is over doesn't mean that he will not be
Come
around.
back and
They're going to
appear on other shows.
They're going to make it so that he'll at least be back. That's an interesting view on that whole thing. But
now, Adam, which was played by Brendan Routh, got his start on the Arrow show.
Yes.
And it would be interesting to see his character get killed off And because he's also going to be playing the part of Superman, which
Again.
if you haven't seen, did you see the pictures of him working out?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's really trying to get like Henry Cavill big.
Good luck on that one,
Yeah.
because Henry Cavill is just
He's a beast.
wow.
It's not natural. Nobody should be that goddamn ripped. It just really puts me to shame because I'm a big fat lazy oaf. But seriously, I really do like, because I saw the photo and he was really pumped up, man.
Yeah.
His arms up, and I'm like going, go for it, Brandon, awesome. And it would be really nice to have him be a Superman on one of the other shows. I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if they've got the guts to do it. But it'd be kind of neat to see him play a regular version of Superman.
Yeah. Well, it's looking more and more like they're going to have him play the Kingdom Come version of Superman.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so he's going to have to get a little darker.
Gotta be real dark to be Kingdom Come.
Kind of grim Superman, so you only smile 50% less.
Yeah. You know I love my percentages. Fake percentages.
Now, as of right now, it's looking like Tom Welling has signed up to appear.
And I'm curious what he's going to do, because it would drive fans nuts if he showed up in a Superman uniform.
Oh yeah.
Because we all felt like we got ripped off.
That final episode was just.
It's like we heard he was going to put on a suit, and then like we get a flyby. It's like.
Now, Linda Carter is also someone who has been, contacted.
She's been a regular on
semi-regular on Supergirl as the president, and so crossing back over to play Wonder Woman. But see, the big news from San Diego was Burt Ward.
Holy Burt Ward!
That's right, coming back to make an appearance as Dick Grayson in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Now,
So,
do you have a favorite moment with him on in the original film or the TV series that it was?
all of it was good. I look, those of us our age that literally grew up watching Burt Ward. I mean, you can't help but love this portrayal.
No, it's so true.
It is baked.
I'm friends with
into
him
our
on
love it.
Facebook, and I've tagged him here and there, and he'll comment. But I noticed after I tagged him on this one, asking him if he had any news that he could talk about, he never commented or liked it. I'm like going, this dude's like life just went upside down. He's going through something. And what I found so cool though, it's like my favorite moment in all of it was in the movie.
Yeah.
And the 1966 movie where they're talking to Admiral Schmidt-Lip. And Schmidt-Lip is in an office with his secretary playing tiddlywinks. And the phone rings and she says, "It's Batman." And he like pulls all the stuff off the desk like he can see through the phone that he was playing tiddlywinks. He goes, aye, Batman, what can the Navy do for you? And he says, "Admiral, has the Navy had anyone purchase a post-World War II submarine recently?" He goes, "Well, let me check our files." And he turns and grabs a Rolodex. He starts flipping through it. He goes, "As a matter of fact, Batman, we sold a World War II submarine to a Mr. P.E. Gwynn." Batman covers the phone, looks at Burt Ward. He goes, "Mr. P.E. Gwynn." Robin goes, "Penguin." I was seriously about lost my shit when I saw that. Penguin. And he gets back on there. He says, "Did you have an address, Admiral?" He goes, "Just a P.O. box, Batman." "Well, I guess we're done here, Admiral." He says, "Avast, Batman. The Navy done something wrong? Really? Selling a pre-nuclear submarine to a person with only a post office box, Admiral." Hangs up. Best scene ever.
It is, yeah. It just. Now, I do have a personal request to the producers of this event. You need to go out and grab one more person that could really help just set this entire thing off and really make every person who grew up watching this stuff just freak out.
Oh, I know who you're getting ready to say.
That's right. Jackson Bostwick.
Shazam!
He still makes appearances. You should get him to play Shazam.
Back when they still called him Captain Marvel.
That's right. He would be perfect for this event. Okay? It's not like I'm asking you to go out and, find Kathy Lee Crosby, which would be kind of interesting to have her in there. But
As another alternate Wonder Woman.
That's right.
Who had a horrible costume.
But come on. I mean, what would it hurt to have Jackson Bostwick?
I think it would be actually really good because, and if you guys don't remember, he was the first and second half season Captain Marvel before they ran into contract issues, and then they let him go and they brought in another fake Captain Marvel. It wasn't bad, but he wasn't the same. He couldn't act.
Yeah. So, for the 70s version of Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, for the Saturday morning live action series, Jackson Bostwick would be awesome. That'd be great. Come on, you can't tell me that wouldn't be cool.
No, it'd be absolutely fantastic. I would, you always know when I get excited about something because I get like the hair stand up on my arms. So my hairs are standing up on my arms just thinking about it.
And again, for me, all of this casting, all of these people, there's no way if we're going to have Tom Welling that you cannot leave out Smallville's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they didn't bring, what's his name,
Michael Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum, yeah.
That would be phenomenal to get Michael Rosenbaum in there.
It was so odd the way he left the show.
Yeah.
And it was like, you were making a big mistake. And his career did not do what he had hoped. And which is sad. But at the same time, he should have known that. He should have finished out the contract with the show. And he was the best, in my opinion, of all the Lex Luthors outside of Gene Hackman, the best Lex Luthor to date. Gene is still just absolutely the best.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's hard to talk. Kevin Spacey, who, by the way, if you didn't see, they dropped all the charges against him in that case.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Doesn't mean he didn't do it. It just means that they dropped the charges because stuff didn't work out with the testimonies.
Yeah.
So, but either way it goes, he was a good Lex Luthor.
Yes, he was.
But Gene Hackman, number one. Number two, Michael Rosenbaum. And it would be nice to see them bring him in because he could end up becoming a new regular villain. Who wouldn't want to see that?
Right?
I know he won't want to shave his head, but it's tough titty, said the kitty. Shave that head, Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm telling you, you got a lot of people that at this point you could bring in. Now, rumors about the main cast of Lois and Clark coming in. That's big.
Dean Cain.
Oh, and Terry Hatcher. So, look.
I just finished watching that entire series. I mean, that is why, the only reason I haven't canceled my membership with DCU is because there's so many little things like that they add. The entire series of Lois and Clark. I wish they'd add Smallville.
Yeah.
Eventually they probably will.
Helen Slater would be another person to bring in.
She's already been in there. She played her Earth Mom.
Yeah, but I mean to play
Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, having her dual roles. There you go. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can have 3 Supergirls on the show.
Wait, who's the other one?
Well, you have Alexandria Vander. I can't remember. I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but she was Supergirl on Smallville.
Oh my God! I completely forgot about her. Yes, there you go. All right, Greg Berlanti. Let's see if you can avoid.
That's your challenge. You got to get all these people in there.
You know, unless it's got shitty drama, it's not Greg Berlanti.
Yeah, well, now another rumor that I've heard is they're going to try to get the Titans cast in there.
No, I did see that. I saw that last week, and I'm like going, no way.
Titans cast?
Because Berlanti is involved with that show, but he's not the showrunner.
I know, but Titans cast?
Doom Patrol, would be really good.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. I hate the CW, but I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I would.
And again, it's when you start thinking about
it would be really funny to see the characters from Doom Patrol when they get bleeped.
Right?
And then they're like, do the whole break the fourth wall. Like, did anybody else hear that?
I'd pay good money to see Robot Man just standing there with Dean Cain as Superman.
Hells to the yeah.
I'm telling you, this almost writes itself. And my big thing is, why are you only having this down to like 4 or 5 episodes? This should be like a 7 or 8 episode event. But hey, I'm not in charge, so...
Well, Warner Brothers, as smart as they are, they got their archives and they opened up a new thing to show their archives, and they called it the Warner... No, they didn't. They called it HBO Max. Alrighty, guys. So, moving right along, no further ado.
But I like a do.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Zeitgeist. Of course, some of you may have already seen video I made memorial to Rutger Hauer. We lost Rutger Hauer this last week, which was devastating for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
But basically, I wanted to spend a little time because that's a video with just me talking about my experiences with knowing Rutger.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought it'd be really nice if we talked about him on the show.
It's something really nice to see. And for those of you that haven't seen it yet, you can still check it out on our YouTube channel.
Yep. It is the next video behind this one. So if you want to watch that, go right ahead. But what are your thoughts on the loss of Rutger? What kind of impact did he have on you?
Oh, wow. For me, first time I saw Rutger Hauer was Blade Runner. And everything that he's ever been a part of has just been flat out amazing. Even when it's something that's kind of silly, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he's always really good.
He's hilarious in that.
But I gotta say, for me, I really enjoyed seeing him in Batman Begins. I wish he'd been allowed to be in more of those films, but it's great that he was allowed to at least be in something of that size.
Yeah, he's in the first one because he gets fired by Lucius.
Yeah.
Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
So there you go. But Rutger, I don't know. Rutger had like this weird effect on me because, and I've said this time and time again, is that Blade Runner wouldn't have been the same without him.
Yeah.
You probably could have had almost any actor play Rick Deckard.
Yeah.
But he brought something to the game that just, I don't think any other actor would have captured the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that, once again, like I said in the other video, it's like he pretty much rewrote that entire final scene,
Yeah.
which is one of the most memorable scenes in Blade Runner.
It's an
Is
incredible
that final
speech.
line. And it was so personal to him, because he added that one part about tears and rain because he knew the rain was coming down and it would be the perfect thing. My God, he's a poet. And he really is. I've read some of his poetry. He's a lovely man. And we're going to miss him. He had a big impact on cinema. His best years were, of course, the 80s, but he had a great run in the 90s. And thanks to Dangerous Minds, or Confessions of a Dangerous Mind,
Mm-hmm.
he had a resurgence in 2003 that got him some beefy roles. And he was in some great stuff from Smallville to the new one that's it's sad. The series is going to go on without him.
Yeah.
Porters, which was a medical comedy.
Yeah.
And of course he's going to be in the Christmas Carol miniseries.
Yeah.
With Guy Pearce. I really felt it was important for us to touch on it.
Fantastic. Fabulous. Star Trek Las Vegas. All things Trek and all things Kurtzman Trek are going to be at Star Trek Vegas, and
The Lamentations of Kurtzman.
we actually have someone that we know that will actually
Our producer Craig is going to be there, and we're hoping to get some reports from him, some video footage, so we can share with you guys.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have some information on all of the really important stuff coming up, like some more short treks and Star Trek.
Well, I'm
Lower
totally
Decks.
excited for it for only one reason. Pike and Spock.
That's the only reason to really be excited. Well, it's looking like actor Robert Picardo, best known as the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager, is looking to sign up to join the cast of Star Trek Picard
Second season.
Yeah,
That's
season
right.
2. He's going for the deuce.
And I, the more classic cast members join, the better I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've mentioned, we're gun shy from some of the Kurtzman crap.
Yeah.
But the fact is this feels good.
Yes. The trailer for Zombie Land Double Tap.
I saw the opening of the trailer. I've not finished it yet.
Oh,
but the first moments of it were cracking me up already. I was like, oh my God,
Everybody's back. A brand new adventure. I mean, seriously. If you enjoyed the first one, looks like you are tailor-made audience for number 2. And that's a great thing. I think more people should see this and just enjoy really, really solid comedy.
All I know is I love the first film a lot. And I thought it was hilarious that fat bodies like this guy won't make it. So what day is it, Keith?
I'm not falling for that again.
Come on, what day is it?
It's Friday.
No, you gotta say it.
No.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh my God, alright, it's Nerds Day. It's Nerds Day.
And a whole new episode of Nerds Day with Susan.
Welcome to another Nerds Day with Susan Leighton.
Hi everyone, it's Nerds Day. I'm Susan Leighton. It started with Jason Momoa, but actually it's been going on for quite some time because Bruce Willis, Denzel Washington, they've all faced this. Now, when you're an actor or an actress, your body, your face, it's part of your toolkit, okay? So, unless you're, going for a part that, requires you to gain weight or not look your best, then, it's almost part of your job description to do what you can to look good in front of the camera. Now, I'm not advocating surgery or any of that stuff. I'm just saying it's just part of the toolkit for the actor is the body, the facial expressions, and everything. So, Jason Momoa was on vacation. On vacation, I'm going to reiterate that, with his family. There were some pictures taken of him in his swim trunks. Then they were shown on Twitter, and here come the people with, oh my God, someone's got to get to a gym. And then, dad bod. Okay, why don't we have mom bod? Because it would be body shaming. So why is it okay to say dad bod? Somebody explain that to me. I think it's a two-way street here. And furthermore, Jason Momoa, yeah, he wasn't pumped up, because do any of these people on Twitter know what that requires? I mean, to be in Avenger superhero shape. Why do you think these guys just want to relax after these movies? They're watching tennis balls on sticks. They're really pumped up. They haven't really been eating, optimally. They're eating their caloric intake for what they have to do. But they're not really living. They're just working. And I get that. And if you have to take off your shirt in the movies, by all means, get into shape. Do whatever you feel like. That's why I personally think it's better to be a character actor, but that's another realm. So, Jason Momoa, who looks pretty darn decent, and I'm not a Jason Momoa, type girl, he looked pretty darn good. in his swim trunks and his dad bod. So, why can't he just live his life? I'm sure Lisa Bonet, she's not complaining. Sure, his kids aren't complaining. Just let him be. Why do you have to weigh in on everything? Now if somebody came at you on Twitter, and I won't mention any names, and said, hey, you need to lose a couple of pounds, you're going to be highly offended, and then you're going to be going on all social media saying you were body shamed. Why can't we just let people exist? Live and let live. So what? So what if Jason Momoa gained 10 pounds? That's his prerogative. He's on his downtime. Why the hell do we care? I mean, dad bods, who cares? Hey, here's a girl right here, a woman who likes dad bods. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I like dad bods. You know why? Because I don't care what the guy looks like. I mean, be presentable, be hygienic. But does he have a sense of humor? Is he intelligent? Can I hold a conversation with him? Furthermore, is he going to be someone that I'm going to want to spend a lot of time with? And most importantly, how does he treat me? So yeah, he might have a pony keg. You might not be able to bounce a quarter off his stomach. But I'm looking at what's on the inside. And I realize, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect either. Neither are you. And maybe if we quit focusing on why we're not perfect, there would be a lot less problems, a lot less stress. Because nobody can achieve perfection. I'm sorry. You can be detail-oriented. You can, make sure that you're on point, but nothing is ever going to be perfect because we're not designed that way. And you know what? We're not designed that way because, I hate to do the cliche, variety is the spice of life. Do you want to be homogenized? Because that's where it's going. We all have to think alike, look alike, have the same body types. No. And I'm not getting on a soapbox about looks or anything, but just that phrase dad bod triggers me. Because like I said, let him live his life. Let these celebrities be on vacation. Yeah, people age. And I got news for you. It's harder to lose weight when you age. Why do you think a lot of people go under the knife? Why do you think there's a lot of specialized surgeries? Now, there are people that need to do it. As long as you're healthy, as long as you're out there and you're walking or doing whatever makes you happy, yoga, swimming, skiing, I don't care, bike riding, as long as you're moving, that's fine. I got another news flash. We're all not going to look like we're in our 20s, okay? That ship sailed for me 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm 53 and I'm going to say that. Because age, it's a number. And Jason Momoa, he's aging as well. We can't expect these people to be in their 50s and 60s and be able to, do tires across the floor like Sly Stallone, which is admirable, especially at 72. Gotta give him a shout out for that. But I guess the whole point of my segment this week is live and let live. Because after all, maybe that's what we all should do. Thanks for joining me on Nerds Day, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks again, Susan. That was a really good episode, as always. Talking about dad bods, it's an important thing to dads like us, because we like our bods, us fatty, chubby guys. We like some love, too. And some of the fans out there are really very caustic. And they say just things, it's like they seem to not understand that when an actor is off season and not having to do something, that he likes to just eat corn dogs and French fries with his kids. And they're going to get a little fat. And then they make fun of him. And it's like, thank you, Susan. That was really good. And of course, for those of you who like Susan's work, you can always find her on 1428elm.com.
Well, it's where she writes a plethora of articles and usually on a great variety of topics.
Including our favorite, Bruce Campbell. And of course, she's a huge supporter and been working closely with the folks over there at Ripley's Believe It or Not. And we're going to put a link down into the description below the video here to get to her website. And you should check out her work, because I personally am a big fan of Susan's work. She's brilliant.
Me too. She's fantastic.
Amen. Got a special treat for you today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It's a cartoon fun time. So, hey, Mr. Projector Guy, let the cartoon begin. Anyway, that's a little treat from our producer, Craig. He's a little crazy, you know.
A little something.
Boogaroo.
Kinda reminds me of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Which is funny because his first gig out of high school was working on Pee-wee's Playhouse, building miniatures.
Oh, really? That's awesome. What the hell?
You said the secret word.
Okay.
All right, enough of that. So anyway, what do you guys think? Ladies and gentlemen, did you like the animation? Would you like to see more of that? Let us know. It was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Starship Regulars, but, you know.
Oh, you. Anyway, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think if you'd like to see more of that, because Craig always has crazy ideas. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap that up and move on to the next part, which is we got something that everybody I know has been waiting for. Secretly.
Sure? Are we sure?
Yes. I think all of you want to see a new Game Girl with Dee Dee Crowley. And she's going to be talking about Resident Evil 6.
Yes.
So,
really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm excited. No, I'm not. I'm faking. I'm acting. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dee Dee Crowley.
Hey everybody, I am Dee Dee Crowley, and it is the dead of summer here. It is hot as balls, and that just makes me want to stay inside and play video games. The franchise I want to talk to you about today is my most favorite, and one that is very near and dear to my heart. It is Resident Evil. The game, not the movie franchise. The game, wonderful, scary, spooky zombie timeline, storyline. The movies, flaming hot garbage can. I'm not going to get into that right now. I digress. The game I want to talk to you about today is a very understated installment into the number Resident Evil timeline, and that's Resident Evil 6. Now, at 1428 Elm, I have gone over my love for Resident Evil 5. I love that game. It was the very first couch co-op Resident Evil game of its kind, and Resident Evil 6 kind of followed suit. It is also couch co-op, which automatically has a little piece of my heart. Now, this was released in October of 2012 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. PC was to come later, but when it first launched, it was console only. This is a first person, no, it's not. This is a third person shooter with lots of quick time events. I don't personally like quick time events, and that kept me away from Resident Evil 6 for literal years. And then I played it, and my whole entire world was changed. And I will tell you why that I gave Resident Evil 6 a chance, and why I think that you should too. And it earns a lot more love than it gets. Now, this is disregarding games like Operation Raccoon City because we're going to stick to the 0 to 7 timeline that we have going right now. So Resident Evil 6 is interesting because it is an interwoven story of multiple parties. It's one event, one story that happens in China, and it is multiple points of view that intertwine and come together for one ending. This story is an important piece of the puzzle connecting Resident Evil 5 to Resident Evil 7. Now, even though it's kind of all over the place and it has points that don't really connect, Resident Evil 6 explains to players why Chris Redfield was flying in an Umbrella helicopter in Resident Evil 7. So, you want to know what happens? You have to play Resident Evil 6. And strangely enough, with as crazy as the ratings were and how kind of low that they were, this was one of the top, maybe still is, one of the top 5 selling Capcom games of all time. Now, the franchise started in survival horror, which was great, and has come back to survival horror. But towards 4 changed everything. 4 changed the formula of a Resident Evil game. It took chances, and it worked. It is widely regarded as the best Resident Evil game of all time. Well, that is until the Resident Evil 2 remake came out, but we'll talk about sometime in the future. For right now, Resident Evil 4 changed the game for Resident Evil games, and 5 became even more actiony, 6 even more so. So, is it scary? No. Is it fun? Hell yes. Now, the story features some really awesome characters. It features Wesker, who's my absolute favorite Resident Evil character, Wesker's son, Jake Muller, and a grown-up Sherry from Resident Evil 2, which I thought was pretty awesome. You have Leon, a woman named Helena, Ada, Chris, and his partner Piers. Now this was the first chance. Now Chris is way buffed up, comically buffed up. Although we get into Resident Evil 7 and hashtag that's not my Chris, but you know, this is Chris as we know it as Chris. But we get to see Chris in a vulnerable state. Now, even though he was kind of vulnerable and emotional, you know, for Resident Evil 5 and the thought of losing Jill, but it didn't really happen, we actually get to see Chris in a super vulnerable and emotional state when he loses somebody that he cares about. And this is a different place to see him in, so it's a little bit bizarre. We also get to see a little bit more dynamic between Leon and Ada, which has always been kind of a weird push-pull relationship between the two of them that's never fully explained, but it's just kind of always there. So we get to see even more of that. So the gameplay in Resident Evil 6 can get a little arcade-like. You have repetitive big events like fighting a troll, fighting a creature, where you do it a couple times, but the gameplay is a little bit different each time because you are playing as a different set of people with a different set of skills. So, you know, it's the same battles, but it doesn't get boring because you are playing it with different skill sets. So, and you get to see kind of what happened on the flip side. So you saw what happened on side A, but now you get to see what happens on side B. And it's just, it keeps it interesting, it keeps it fresh. And it's, even though the gameplay style is not my favorite, keeping up with the story was. And the fact that I got to play with my best friend sitting right there next to me was even better. We didn't have to try to play online. I could sit right next to him and play, which is a plus for me. Now, this one takes place in China, where a woman named Carla Radams, I always forget how to say her name, decides that she needs to be Ada to complete her evil doings. And in doing so, she becomes Ada, so there's Ada A and evil Ada B, and then she infects herself with the C virus. Thus, Neo Umbrella is created, and Neo Umbrella is the company bioweapon thing that ends up working with Chris and the BSAA in the end of 6 and the entirety of 7. So, spoiler alert. But there is things in there that I'm not going to spoil for you because you really do need to see. We see the buffest of Chris's in this one, like I said before, which is pretty entertaining, but it's the last time we get to see Chris as we know him. So, and this game is just freaking fun, man. It's just, I keep looking at my screen, it's just fun. So I believe that this game deserves a chance. Is it going to be super scary? No. Play 7. Play the remake of 2 for that. But this is super fun. It's super entertaining. You don't really have to think about it. The battles are big and explodey and super Resident Evil. It's action filled, it's got the monsters, it's got the fan service for the characters that we know and love, and it's just fun. I think it deserves a lot more love than it's getting. So when you have time and you're looking for a game to play, and you got a buddy with you, pop in Resident Evil 6. I think you're going to like it a lot more than you think you will. And you know what? 2019 is the year of Resident Evil, so might as well keep it going. Thank you guys for watching so much. I really appreciate it. I will see you next week on Game Girl. Thank you again, Pop Culture Minefield, for including me in this. And I will see you later. Bye.
Thanks again, Dee Dee. Wow, she really knows how to nail it with those games.
Every single time.
And I'm so glad she's joined our family. I hope you guys do too. Please feel free to comment below. Let her know how much you appreciate her segments. So, what is this special secret sauce episode that I alluded to earlier?
What? What is it? It's Bond.
James Bond.
James Bond, of course. We're going to do a whole special episode about James Bond.
Hell yeah. And basically, I want to point something out here. This is where I go off on my little short diatribes. I've known Keith for a few years, and I've never met anybody with a greater working knowledge of James Bond than this guy. I mean, I know a lot of stuff about James Bond, but he makes me look like a fourth grader compared to his master's degree. E equals MC Bond.
Thank you.
Clear, James. Of course, Miss Moneypenny.
Look, Bond is a passion of mine. Love the movies, love the books, love the subject matter. So, first and foremost, thank you, and thank everyone else out there, all our people, for making this the next episode that we do. Hopefully,
Well, it's not the next episode.
Well,
it's going to be a special episode, and it will be dropped either next week or the next week after that.
Yeah.
Because we want Dee Dee Crowley to also do a segment on the Bond game and have a report to talk about the news and information about those games. It doesn't have to be huge, but I think it's important to talk about that, especially GoldenEye, which was the first time it was released was really good. And then they re-released it with Daniel Craig instead of Pierce Brosnan.
I gotta say, Pierce Brosnan, for an entire generation of fans, is Bond mainly because of those video games. He was the first video game Bond. Anybody that basically played a lot of the Bond games, the majority of all those games are all Pierce Brosnan related Bond games.
That's right.
And wow,
They didn't do a new one until the one that came out after the first Casino Royale, and they finally did a new. And I played that. It was a fun game.
yeah.
But it was Daniel Craig, and it was the first Bond game to have someone other than Pierce Brosnan in it.
Yeah.
And then they re-released GoldenEye video game and replaced Pierce Brosnan with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like that at first until I tried it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with it because it was a fun game, no matter who's in it.
It's Bond.
It's Bond, James Bond. So,
Look, this is gonna be fun. So if you are either new to Bond or are a major Bond fanatic like me, we'd really like it if you tune in to this very special episode that we're going to be putting together.
and of course, stay tuned to this channel to look for updates about it, because I will be posting updates either by video or in the discussion area.
Cool.
And with that, I guess we'll just wrap up here. It was a fun episode. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Craig, for that weird, eccentric, odd animation. But it was very enjoyable. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank my partner in crime, Keith.
Oh, thank you, Gerry, for having me here in the middle of this major sanctum of nerddom.
Yes, the bowels of Dangerous Nerds headquarters. I love bowels. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man.
And with that, I guess we'll just let you guys know that if you like the show, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We would love to have you as our subscribers. The show is going to get better and better each time. Thank you, Craig, for all the work you're doing to help us. And thank you guys for watching us.
Remember, we have no show without you. Oh, wrong one.
That's good enough for me.